So we're going to stay on the healing journey, right? So the healing journey is a path, that's a process that produces results. So it's a path, process that produces results. So if we want results, this is what we have to do. So we want to talk about the path. First one was self-awareness. The second is prioritizing self-care. Third is mindfulness and meditation. We went over that, right? This is a very big part of the healing journey. Some of you might not want to do it. Journaling. Doesn't have to be elaborate. You don't have to write novels. Journaling, the reason that why do you think journaling is such a good tool? What does journaling do for us? What? Yeah. What does journaling do for us, you think? By journaling, what do we...
Gets that shit out.
Gets that shit out? Expresses, right?
Exactly.
It'll help with this. So, when you're conscious, what does that mean?
Aware.
You're aware, right? If I get knocked out, I'm unconscious, right? So that means I'm asleep. What is our subconscious? What is your perception of the subconscious?
In between.
In between?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anybody else?
It's your internal thinking, like...
Some people...
sub is under, so it's like your... I don't know how to break it down.
No, some people could say it's your divine intervention, is your subconscious. Your subconscious is where everything is stored, right? The things that we think we forgot are not... Say it again?
It's your inner self.
Very good. It's your inner self. So when I'm having a conversation with you, what part of our minds do you think is working? The conscious part or the subconscious?
I would say both.
Okay, very good. Very good. Very good. Anybody else? So when we're speaking, we're conscious, right, of each other. A lot of times, I don't know if this ever happened to you. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody, left the conversation, and was like, oh, I should have said that. I could have said this. So the reason that we forget is because our conscious mind in a conversation is kind of like ping pong. You're saying something, I'm saying something to what you said, you're saying something to what I said. It's very in the moment consciousness. Our subconscious, when you write, if you've noticed, if you've ever written before and reread your writing, it doesn't sound like the way you speak. The reason it doesn't sound like the way you speak is because when you write, your subconscious is speaking. When you're speaking to someone, my conscious mind is speaking. It's kind of like tunnel vision. Conscious mind is tunnel vision, right? My peripheral vision is, even though I'm looking at him, I could still see both of them. That is our subconscious. Our subconscious is our peripheral vision. The subconscious is everything that's happening around us that we're picking up, but we're not conscious of it because we're not focused on it. When you write, you get subconsciously conscious. I'll show you what I mean. When you write a few words, and then you'll find yourself stop and think. And then you write a few more words, and then you put something called a period. When you write, you're allowing yourself to get complete thoughts. When you're speaking, you're not. Because if you're like me, I used to listen to respond, not listen to comprehend. I'm not listening to you to learn from you. I'm listening to you to listen to how I could respond, to either show you how I'm smarter or how I'm right and you're wrong sometimes.
Or that I know what you're talking about.
Or I know what you're talking about, to agree. Yes, very good. Way to add that to it. So when you are journaling, you will allow your subconscious to become conscious. You become aware of what's really going on in your mind that you don't know about.
Example, I think I told you this before. When my psychiatrist had me write that forgiveness letter.
Yes.
You remember, as I got to writing it, deep off into it, I just started crying.
Yep.
And shit was coming up that I had forgot I did.
Yep.
And it was like, damn.
Yep.
So I know
You got to remember, the brain is going to protect itself. The brain could actually make us forget shit because it knows what it's going to do to us.
Exactly.
So, but even though we've forgotten it, it hasn't gone anywhere. So you might not even realize that your reactions to things are based on something that's in your subconscious that you're not even aware of yet. So when you're doing the steps, they make you write your defects of character down. Everything is written out with the steps, right? They're not conversation. You're having a conversation after you write it. But when you write, you dig into your mind and you start to go down these paths to become emotionally intelligent, to be on the healing journey. Journaling to me is a must. And listen, some of my journal entries are this. I don't feel like fucking journaling today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Man, I did that.
Just to stay consistent with it. Because consistency is the act of practicing something over and over. Consistency isn't the amount that you're practicing over and over again. You could be consistent with something and just make sure you're doing it every day. It doesn't have to be as much as you did yesterday. That's where I made mistakes. I thought consistency meant 6 groups a week. And this, and that, and this. I needed to stay consistent with that. No, you need to stay consistent with the practice. Why are you going to the groups? Why are you going to the meetings? You're trying to get something. Cool. Practice continuously getting that rather than how you're actually getting it. Remember, it's always mindset with me. It's what am I getting out of this to build me? How is this helping me get to where I'm going? I find myself in times where I catch myself like, yo, I've been wasting my time doing this. And that's it. I cut it off and I don't beat myself up on the wasted time. When I find out I wasted my time, do you know what I do with that time? I make it an investment. I learn what caused me to waste my time and what I did to waste my time. So at least I get an investment from the wasted time. For instance, your active addiction should be an investment now, not wasted time. You should be looking on how your active addiction can pay you today with a lesson, with something, with motivation, with determination. If you can allow your past to be an investment, teach you, it's not wasted time no more. Because I told you, success is a byproduct of failure. You want to succeed in recovery, just learn how you fail. Seriously, I don't know who I need to be in recovery. I don't know what that person looks like. I do know who Mike in active addiction looks like really well, though.
You know what I noticed, Mike, with a lot of these places, people spend more time complaining about the situation instead of investing in the situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you know why we complain? What do you think makes us complain? What are we trying to do with the situation that we can't figure out?
To fit our needs. Trying to control it.
Trying to control it?
Taking inventory.
We're trying to understand why instead of how do I get through it.
You know what trips me out? People that'll get a story and talk about how they was on the streets for this and this.
Yeah.
And this, but then they get in here and complain about, oh, the house ain't got this and the house ain't got this. But you're living in the fucking house.
Yes.
You're not on the streets anymore.
It's the sickness that I had for a while too. I'm eating out of garbage cans, right? I'm living on the street of New York City. I'm living on a New York City subway. I'm picking up cigarettes off the floor. Mm-hmm. I know what train stations to go to because they throw the bigger clips. You know what a good day? You know what a good day for me was when I found a cigarette with that much on it. That shit brought me joy.
Yeah, me too.
In there.
That shit brought me joy.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the approach of what we're doing that's going to create what we get out of it. So we're complaining. I get into treatment and I'm complaining about chicken nuggets and french fries. I just ate somebody's fucking burger 2 days before it out of a garbage can. So you know what that told me? That I didn't value a better life. I didn't want to get a better life. I wanted a better life
Instantly.
to have. So I wasn't grateful for chicken nuggets and french fries because for some odd reason, broke ass, stink ass Mike had some sort of entitlement. Like he deserved more than chicken nuggets and french fries. Because my insurance is paying you.
Exactly.
When I'm not even paying for my insurance, though. When I'm not even paying for my insurance, though.
Exactly.
It's entitlement. We do not deserve a better life.
We gotta earn it.
We gotta earn it. I do not deserve this life. My life is a gift from God because of grace and mercy. You know what comes first? What do you think comes first between grace and peace?
Grace.
How many of us are looking for peace but haven't allowed ourselves to receive grace? You ain't never gonna find peace until you first understand what grace is. And how grace is that you're being given something that you did nothing to deserve.
Yeah.
That God has given me grace. Even though I am a sinner and I am horrible, God has given me grace. He is not judging me on my sin. He's giving me grace. He's giving me time. He's giving me opportunity. He's giving me resources to get better, even though I am horrible.
Grace is Michael Fury right now. Him telling you what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? That's grace. You know what I'm saying?
Unconditional love, yes. The only way to truly know what unconditional love is understanding that what is loving you or who is loving you is only loving you for who you are, not what you could do for them or not what you have gotten done. That's my mother gave me unconditional love. Unconditional love. No matter what I did, Mom's door was always open to me. Mom never made me feel like a piece of shit. Mom always made me feel it was unconditional. There was nothing I could give my mother. My mother loved me because I was her child. There is nothing we can give God. He's God. He has everything. What he wants us to do is receive what he wants to give us. So once I understood grace, who I am as a person changed. I am no longer about getting things from people for my benefit. My life is about giving you something for your benefit. I don't want fucking nothing out of nobody. There's nothing anybody can give me anyway that God can't give me. So I am not doing this to get money out of people's pockets. I am not doing this for any of that. I could be making a lot of fucking money for the way I am and who I am. I choose to do this. This is what keeps me alive. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is my calling. I could be doing it somewhere else, but I will not be having the impact that I could have if I'm at ground zero with those that need it most. I could go to corporations and give hella seminars and rock it and get them to make sales and everything if I wanted. That's not where I'm meant to be. This is where I'm meant to be. It's my calling. We all have one. God is going to give you your calling when you walk with him first. It's kind of like, getting your first car. You're going to get an old car. What do you got? When you walk with him. It's kind of like God first gave me the old broken down car. Right? Let me see what you do with the old broken down car. I took care of the old broken down car. I'm driving a Ferrari, not literally. I'm the Ferrari now. I'm driving a Ferrari now. I became a Ferrari. I was a broken down Honda for a little bit though. But I took care of the broken down Honda and then he turned me into a Ferrari. He will do the same for you. Right? So, self-awareness, self-compassion. Where we at? So journaling. Try it. I have 2 separate journals. This is how I journal today. My morning journal, every sentence starts like this. I will continue. ... I will continue to make my appointments. I will continue to allow the Holy Spirit to intervene. I will continue to speak life into my life. I will continue. That is my morning journal. ... So, same thing like an I am, right? It's like, and then my night journal is processing the day. I did well here. I need to get better here. Not that I did bad. Remember, self-talk. I need to get better here. So what I do is I don't try to get better at it tomorrow. When I realize I'm not doing something well, tomorrow I don't try to get better at it. You know what I do tomorrow? I start to look for people who are already good at it. I don't try to figure it out. If I'm not doing well in something, I look for people who are doing well first. When you're going to climb Mount Everest, you're going to just go to the mountain and climb? No, you're going to go find equipment, and then what? You're going to find a tour guide. Someone that could take you up the mountain that knows the route because you've never climbed Mount Everest before. What are you doing with your mountains? Are you preparing by getting the equipment, meaning understanding your flaws and understanding how you're tripping yourself up? And then are you finding somebody who will walk you through it?
Look at it from this perspective.
Go ahead.
What if all the equipment is sold out?
I love when someone challenges it. Well, if the equipment is sold out, then I need to wait until they restock before I go climb.
You can't wait on this variety.
Why not? What do you mean by you can't wait on it? So, because I look at recovery as retirement. I don't see recovery as a job.
Okay.
I look at active addiction as the job. That was the work. 24/7. I couldn't take time off. What are people doing in retirement?
Say, for instance, like, to get better at it tomorrow.
No, you could get... You always have the resources you need to get better today.
Okay.
So maybe today you're not buying the equipment. Maybe today you're just writing the list. Since they don't have the equipment.
Gotcha.
So what do people do in retirement usually?
Relax.
Relax. What are some of the things they do?
Find something.
Travel, right? Uber, they travel, they try new hobbies, they eat new food, they start to experience life beyond something else. To me, recovery should be retirement, not a job. If you make recovery a job, you're going to wait for the paycheck. If you make recovery retirement, you're enjoying the experience. To me, it's not 24/7. To me, recovery means I can sit back and put my feet up and relax. Active addiction, I couldn't do that. Active addiction was work. Recovery is like, you know what? I'm taking today off, man. I'm good. Sit back and be in nature. Active addiction, I can't do that. I ain't got time for that. Your recovery should be more retirement than a job. If you make this a job and you don't get paid the way you think you should get paid for the work that you're putting in, you're going to quit your job. So, it's the healing journey that we're on. It's a path that's also a process that produces results.
See, that's my problem. I feel like I haven't produced enough results yet.
Okay.
I mean, I'm 38 days clean. I should have something.
That's why you don't feel like you got any of these yet, because of your expectations. Experience the journey rather than expect what you should be getting from the journey. We are never going to get what we think we deserve.
I feel like I ain't even getting experience of shit. I want to, but I feel like my resources are depleted.
It's all right. It's just the mind will start clearing up, and you'll get more direction. You just got to keep going. But the vision has to be who you want to become, not what you think you should be getting. My recovery journey, my recovery mission is to become someone of loyalty, someone of integrity, someone of respect. To become that, I must practice the habits first.
See, I feel like I just need to remind myself who I was 2 years ago.
Very good. Very good. Growth. A lot of times growth, everyone thinks it's in the future, right?
Yeah.
Growth is also seeing where you are today compared to where you used to be, because we're not always going to get the results that you want to get. So you're not seeing growth. But if you could look back on who you are today compared to a year ago, you'll see hella growth.
Yeah.
So, but you might have not been seeing it. So the way I like to describe this.
I was sober 2 years ago.
Okay.
You know, I was on top 2 years ago.
All right.
You know, and I just,
So you were there, so you can get back. It's a marathon. Have you ever seen a marathon before on television? Have you ever seen somebody fall?
Yeah.
When they get up, what do?
Running.
They start running from where, though? From where they fell.
Yeah.
They don't go back to the starting line. and run over, you're running a marathon. If you had 2 years, you pick up where you dropped off and you keep going. You don't start over. You start from experience. Who gives a fuck about the amount of days you had? You had it. Go right back to being that person and pick up where you left off.
But it's hard. It's hard as fuck.
It's hard to just keep going?
No, I mean, it's hard, but it's not when you had it.
I mean, I gotta rebuild.
Yeah, that shit's hard as fuck.
It's hard to get back what you think you lost, but you didn't lose it. It's still there. You just gotta bring it back out. Do not make your recovery identity about sobriety. Please don't do that. Because that's why we make it so hard to get back. I had 3 years. Fuck, I gotta start over?
Never start.
I had 3 years. I'm starting right where I left off.
Right.
That's why it's so difficult, because we're attaching our recovery to sobriety. Sobriety is a step in this, not the only step in this. Just because you're not using doesn't mean that you're getting better.
Where I'm wanting to get back though is like what a loss, meaning my house, my car.
You
my
get it?
job,
That's your vision.
like,
So there's your vision, to get those things back.
that's the hard part.
What? Yes, but when you get them back, it's so much greater than when you had it before. God's beautiful.
Now you know.
Go ahead.
Jail.
I mean, there's a week count.
Yeah. Okay. When you go to jail, you lose everything.
Right.
Up there.
Everything. Jewelry, what you got?
Damn,
You
what?
want
You know,
everything.
everything. I've been to jail 4 times. I spent 22.5 years in prison. Every time I went, I lost everything.
Come on.
Right.
So when I come out, I ain't got shit but the state clothes they gave me. I got to
Right.
start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I was out 45 days, lost it all again.
Yeah.
In them 45 days, I got a house, a car.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Lost that shit. 45 days.
Yep.
And I had spent 11 years in that motherfucker. 45 days. Everything I was up there.
Preach.
I was hitting the keys, half the keys. I had all type of shit. I'm a carpenter. You know what carpenter? Down there sewing that bitch up. Went right back to jail. Got out. Did the same shit. Got all that shit right back. Went right back to jail. Took everything. So I say that to say this. When you in here, you got to strip yourself all the way down.
Yeah.
You got to look at what do you do every day when you leave group. Fuck the people around you. Because it's easy. I was just caught up in that shit. It's easy to get caught up with everybody around you. You're trying to do shit. We're in California. You want to go to the beach. But you got to remember what you're here for. You're here to get your shit together. So you got to focus on when I leave group, what am I going to do for this next hour? Then an hour after that, what I'm going to do. What am I trying to do? See, to me, I'm a little different than Mike. I feel like if you've been in this shit for a year, you ain't got a job, you ain't got no money saved up, you don't want help.
Right.
You don't want help.
See,
So you gotta just like you said, you gotta find out what you want
And go for
and
it.
stand on it.
There
You
you go.
can't make excuses.
Okay.
You can't,
So
you just gotta.
I
Start.
can't keep going home and going to sleep because I'm hurting so bad.
So
know
there
what
you
I
go. So I write things down on paper. The Bible says write everything on a tablet. Once you take things out of your mind, you put them to paper, you are now manifesting something into reality. It is now real.
Real.
As long as a dream stays a wish until you put a plan to action. A dream just stays a wish. Dream becomes reality when you make a plan. People wish for shit they can't get.
Exactly.
People wish to win the lotto. You want to know why? Because they don't think they can make money like that. People, I wish my parents were alive to see this version of their son.
They do see.
You know?
I know, but what I'm saying is I'm wishing for it because I
Yeah.
can't make it happen.
Right.
Are you wishing for recovery? Or do you have a plan for recovery? Are you dreaming about recovery? Or are you starting to put action to it? Without a plan, without something written down, what are you following? What's your blueprint? And then when when you don't reach the goal, you don't change the goal, you change your plan. It wasn't that you're not able to achieve the goal of greatness. Maybe the plan you had wasn't the right plan. So maybe if you just tweak the plan a little bit, you'll get closer to the goal and closer to the goal. So what we were talking about is when people work out, they look in the mirror every day, but they don't see results every day. But then there's one day they look in the mirror and they're like, oh shit, check me out. Hear me for a second. God has given us a lesson in this. If the person working out seeing results every day, they will start to expect to see results every day. So then life becomes about the result and not the work. So then we start to get entitled. The fact that the person doesn't see growth every day, but then gets to see it in the mirror one day, tells them, even on days that they weren't seeing it or feeling it, they were growing. So you're going to have your God shots. You're going to be walking down the block and it's going to hit you. And you're, oh my God. God is showing you that even though you didn't think you were growing, and even though you didn't think you were working towards something, you were. So here you go. I'm going to give you a little taste. So now when you start doubting yourself, remember I gave you this. And what I give you, I'm going to keep giving you, because he promises us an abundance. Not a little bit, not a lot. More than we can handle. All right? So good stuff.
Mike, is that kind of like when they say, like, if you look for, like, your boss to tell you every time that you're doing a good job, it doesn't mean anything when they do come to you and tell you? Is that the same concept? Yeah.
Don't you notice when you get in a relationship with someone, we like them. We spend all day, all night with them. Eventually, sometimes you can get tired of the person. But then if you date someone, you only get to see them once or twice a week. How much greater is the time spent with somebody than if you get to see them all the time? It's greater. God is trying to give us more joy and growth by not allowing us to see it all the time and giving us little taste of it. My life feels like my big break is right around the corner. But I've been feeling that for 2 years, though. For 2 years, it's like, it's just right around the corner, Mike. Just keep going. And I've been through some shit in 2 years. I don't know if it's around the corner, but it feels like it's around the corner. And that's all I need to know, is that it's around the corner. Sometimes you are 2 steps away from the mountaintop. The enemy comes in and plants doubt like you're at the bottom of the valley. So you give up, and God was like, you just needed 2 more steps, and I had you. And God will usually put someone in your life before you give up on yourself. God will bring someone in your life to say something to you to prevent you from going, but we don't take it, and we listen to the enemy. God is never going to make you feel like you're away from him. God is always going to make you feel like you're with him. So whenever you feel like you're away from him, there's scripture. God does not tempt. God is not evil. So when people are like, yo, why do evil things happen? Evil is the absence of good. The reason that there's evil in this world is because there's people not walking with God. And God gives people the power of free choice. He ain't going to intervene. You're going to get his wrath, but he's going to let you rock. Evil is the absence of good. Darkness is the absence of light. A little bit of light overcomes darkness. A little bit of good will be seen no matter how much evil is around. That's why certain people shine. Me, I don't do anything extraordinary. I kind of basic, but not many people do the basic stuff. So I seem like I'm extraordinary with the things I'm doing because most people don't do the little things. Do what other people won't do, and you will get what other people can't get. Do what other people won't do, and you'll get what other people can't get. Most people won't put the hard work in when no one's looking, and only want to put the work in when people are looking. I know that life. I was all about that attention, making you think I'm better than you, so I could feed my own ego. When in reality, I'm so much worse than you. So journaling, write down your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences to gain insight and process emotions. I even had an anger journal when I was in treatment. It was a red book that I walked around with. And every time someone got me angry or something got me angry, I wrote it in this book. And then at the end of the day, I read it. And I'm like, yo, wait a second. Why was I even angry about this? This wasn't even that deep. This is from the past. This is because I'm looking outside myself. I was able to process myself because I was writing down my thoughts. They have something called NTT, negative thought time. So there's some people that write all their negative thoughts down throughout the day. They write them down and then they leave them. They have time at the end of the night. Some people call it worry time. It's usually like an hour, say from 9 to 10 p.m. From 9 to 10 p.m., that person goes to all their negative thoughts that they wrote down during the day that they didn't feed, and now they process their negative thoughts. By the time you get to your negative thought at night, the negative thought's not negative no more. It's only negative in the moment. So do you see that people are giving themselves the opportunity to be negative? But when they go to be negative, what was negative really ain't that negative no more. I thought it was a weird practice until I studied and I was like, you know what, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Some people have worry time. Their kids are something in school, you know what, I'll deal with this later. I got to get this done. How much are you able to deal with later? Because by the time you get to it later, if you even remember, if you get to it later, it doesn't have the same power it did in the present moment. Everything passes. So I'm a big advocate for journaling, right?
It's like compartmentalizing.
Very good. 100%. Very good word, too. Healing journey, you're going to have to set boundaries. What do you think you're going to have to set boundaries with?
The past.
Give me specifics. What do you mean with your past?
Friends.
Okay, good.
I set boundaries with my thinking.
Set boundaries with your thinking. What do you mean by that?
I don't entertain negative thoughts or unhealthy thoughts.
Very good. What are some non-negotiable things that you have in your life? Meaning something that you cannot negotiate with. I'll give you an example. I cannot negotiate with the thought that I could do just one.
Yeah.
I am not negotiating with that. Once you start negotiating with it, you are fucking almost done. Once you start, well, mate, that's it. You better nip it in the butt right then and there. So what are some things that are non-negotiable, some boundaries that you're going to have to make to stick to within inside yourself?
Backtracking.
Backtracking, very good. In a negative way?
Yeah, I can't do that.
What are some things you're going to have to set a boundary with? How about your energy?
That and my generosity.
And your generosity, your kindness? A mentally strong person strives to be kind. I strive to be kind to every living creature I meet. I am also okay with people fucking not liking me though. If you don't like me because I'm not doing enough for you that you think I should be doing for you when I'm doing as much as I can, go ahead. Hate me. I don't give a fuck. I'll live. But I strive to be kind. But I'm okay with people not liking me though. Especially if I didn't do anything for you not to like me. Just because I'm not doing something for you that you should be doing yourself. I'm a kid from the streets, so I kind of give my people tough love. I don't play, maybe I could get better with it. I don't play the victim shit. I don't play the kid shit. Like, we grown. We grown. You want to rock? You want to get things right? I love you. I'm going to speak to you the way I love you. But we grown. We ain't doing this. We ain't talking to people like that. You want to rock? This is how I rock. You don't like it? Then don't rock with me.
Right.
I'm protecting my energy. You got to learn how to protect your energy. How do you know when someone's taking your energy? How do you think you could identify that someone's taking your energy?
When they're always negative.
When they're always negative? What do you think happens inside of us when someone's taking our energy? Lost it, drained, very good. What else?
It affects you too.
It affects you, overwhelming. I want us to get more specific with identifying our feelings. That's why I keep asking questions, and I don't let you guys get away with abstract things. Like, I want to feel better. No, that's not enough. Give me a specific feeling. Because when you give me a specific feeling, you now have a vivid vision of what it is. When you have a vivid vision, you now have a blueprint to build on. So just saying you want a better life, I'm sorry, that's not good enough for me. It's too abstract. What are you doing to make your life better? You might say, I don't know. You don't even know where to start. You just want it to be better, but you don't know what. So get specific. What is a vision of a better life? What are you doing? How are you thinking? How are you feeling? Who are you hanging out with? What kind of food are you eating? Where are you living? You see, the more specific you get, the easier it is to figure out the next step. So last group I was asking, we need to question ourselves and not doubt ourselves. This is what I mean. Question your motives. Question your intentions. When you find out that maybe your motive and your intention wasn't what it should have been, don't doubt that you can make it better. Just make it better. So sometimes we don't question ourselves because when we find out we're doing something wrong, we now start to doubt our ability to make it better. Question yourself. Do not doubt. I question God all the time. I just don't doubt him. But I question him. I think true worship is questioning him. Wrestling with God is true worship. So how do you wrestle with God? Jordan Peterson said it, and I love how he said it. He goes, with every word.
Yeah.
If you are fighting against your conscience, you are wrestling with God.
Damn.
If your conscience is saying, don't do that, and you go and do it, you just wrestled with God. God doesn't really want a yes man and a yes woman, I think. God wants us to wrestle with him so he could show us how powerful he is and how much we need him. If anyone knows Jacob becoming Israel, right?
Yeah.
If anyone knows, I think the definition of Israel is the ones who wrestle or something like that. They chose something like that.
God.
He wrestled with God. God then changed his name. God is going to change your name. And my name is still Michael. But it's not Mike the addict and Mike the junkie. It's Mike the preacher. Mike the pastor. My name has been changed. God will change your name just like he's done everyone in the Bible. But the only way he's going to change it is when you wrestle with him, you realize you can't win now. So when you find yourself wrestling, you become obedient when you find yourself in that moment. God will change everything.
So ignoring your instincts would be like ignoring God.
Yes. That I think our subconscious is kind of like that divine connection.
I think so too. I think it's kind of like described that to me in Romans.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. And then they found, I forgot something in our spine that dies for 3 days.
It comes from your what part of your brain, travels down your spine.
Yes.
And it dies or it just goes down there for 3 days and then it rises.
Yes, it dies for like 3 days, comes back to life and rises.
What the fuck?
Yes, I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of stuff. I'm telling you, if you guys ain't into God and you into the science part, there's a lot of scientists that believe in God, that are proving God through the human autonomy.
Yeah, the eyeball.
Everything, like numbers and, bro, like, it's beyond, if you act, seek, knock, seek the kingdom first. If you were really looking for God, you will find him in the birds flying. You will find him in the bumper sticker on the car. You will find him on the street corner. I find him everywhere. I watch movies and I'm seeing Jesus in the movie depending on the plot of the movie. Like it's crazy. And the movie has nothing to do with biblical. Nothing. I'm seeing him in everything. I am into the Bible 9 months, 10 months. I'm considered a new believer. So it's not about how much time you have with God. It's about how you're spending your time with God. I know a lot of people with 20 years of faith that are not walking with God. They know scripture, they could quote it, but they are not walking with God. It's a personal relationship with God. Personal. I don't know if I call God homie. When I'm two-stepping in the shower, Jesus is two-stepping with me in the shower. When I do something when you're getting convicted, you're going to get an aha moment in your sin. When it's not conviction, you're allowing the enemy to make you feel shameful because of your sin. What do you got?
There's also 33 vertebrae.
Yes.
Spine.
Jesus lived at 33.
Jesus lived 33.
There's so much out there.
So the fluid comes from your medulla,
Mm-hmm.
travels down the spine, And if you don't waste your sexual essence, it will travel back up your spine. So it's crazy.
There's a lot with the human body that is just, there's no way we evolved from a fucking paramecium.
For real.
And for those that want to do evolution, science has proven that we did not evolve from monkeys. It's been proven.
Yeah, there's still monkeys.
Because if so, why is there still monkeys?
We were made in God's image.
That's it. And the enemy is allowed to deceive us, right, with other things. So, journaling. If you guys want to journal, I'm always down to listening to if you guys want to share it. But try to start writing something. Write what went well, what didn't go well. Write what you want to become. Write how you want to feel. Write what you ate. Journal. Audio book. Right? Speak into a voice note. Today is ... My journal entry for today is this. I like this. I didn't like that. I got to get better at this. I want to learn that.
Back to the conscious and subconscious.
No, because you're not speaking to someone. You're speaking to yourself. So it's different. When I'm speaking to you, it's the conscious. It's the ping pong. When I'm speaking to myself, who's answering me? Me. So it's a little more of the subconscious, all right? Setting boundaries, forgiveness, working towards letting go of resentment. Letting go could be difficult. So I changed the way I say things. I don't let anything go. Sorry. I let things be. There's a difference. I'm not letting it go. I'm not disregarding that it happened. It happened. It was real. I got fucked over. I fucked people over. It's real. I'm letting it be. It happened. How do I get better from it today? How do I learn from it today? How do I develop empathy today? Let it be, not let it go. Because letting it go made me think I had to forget it. Like, how do I let it go? It's with me. It's part of my life. What I've been through ain't going nowhere. I can't let it go. I need to let it be. It happened. What caused it? What did I do to make it worse? What could I have done to make it better? Practice it today. To me, that's forgiveness. It's not a free pass. It means that either I understand what I did was wrong, I understand what the other person did was wrong, but I'm given time and opportunity to make it right. Whether it's me make it right with them, or me make it right within me so they don't control me no more. Because forgiveness is you're the prisoner until you forgive. Until you forgive, until you let things be, you are a prisoner in that moment of your life or to that person. If you're holding a grudge, someone is renting space for free in your head right now. So let's just think for a second. How many different people do you think about in a day? Not many. Maybe some of us a lot. But then now let's look at ourselves. We think everybody's fucking thinking about us though. So we allow people's opinions of us to dictate our day because we think everyone's thinking about it. You know how many times I look back at my past and I got an embarrassed moment, some stupid shit, and then the people I was with, I'm automatically in the moment thinking if they still think about that moment, but that moment was like 20 years ago and they probably fucking forgot it.
It's nobody's business. It's not my business what anybody thinks of me.
It's none of my business what you think of me. Yeah. When I make your opinion my business, it becomes my problem.
Right.
Plain and simple. When you make other people's opinion your business, it becomes your problem. So, forgiveness, positive affirmations, so important considerations. You got to get honest with yourself on this journey. So if you don't walk with God or Jesus, I do suggest the steps. Right? I'm a supporter of all forms. Those steps will help you get a spiritual awakening. My suggestion is when I wake up in the morning, awakening, I still have to get out of bed and I still have to get things done. Me just being awoken to the day doesn't mean anything if I don't do nothing. If you get a spiritual awakening, you have to find progression and growth within the spirituality. My suggestion is do the steps without Christ, get your spiritual awakening, and then jump on the Jesus Christ train. Because the program, the growth and the progression that you could get in Christ far more exceeds than that program. The people that I see with success with 20 years are believers in Jesus Christ. The ones that don't believe in Jesus Christ are lost. They have all the things and they still feel incomplete. They got the 20 sponsees and still feel incomplete. They're going to 20 meetings a week and still feel incomplete. Once I found Jesus, there was no more incomplete. There was nothing but contentment right now. I get progression and growth through Jesus because it's defined. I know what I'm doing. It's beyond me. It's more powerful than me. If anyone's ever reading Proverbs, that wisdom is not man's wisdom. That's God's wisdom. Because it could apply to anyone in any given time, no matter where you are in your life. Truth never changes. Truth stays the truth. If you could prove one line in this book fake or false, the whole book is false. People have been trying to prove one line for centuries, and they can't. There's something special. You don't even got to believe in Jesus to read that book, because I didn't when I first started, I'll be honest. I didn't believe in Jesus when I started reading the Bible. I know I needed something, and I didn't know what I was looking for, so I was like, all right, give me it. God was like, yo, just read Proverbs. Nothing else but Proverbs. There's 31 Proverbs. My devotional is the proverb of the day. So today was the 16th. I read Proverbs 16 this morning. Tomorrow I'll read Proverbs 17. That wisdom, you read it at face value. If something makes sense, practice it and just keep doing that and watch what the Holy Spirit does in your life.
Amen.
That's how I started this. Who I am today started off with me not believing in Jesus. Started off with me reading Proverbs, not understanding anything. And maybe a couple words and started practicing it. And now look at what I've become. I started off not believing in Jesus. When you go to the shower, you're dirty, aren't you? You're not going in the shower because you're clean. Jesus wants you to go to him dirty so he could clean you. So stop thinking that we have to become something before we go to God. God is going to turn you into what he created you to be. You just got to go to him. He's a gentleman. He's at the door. He's not walking in unless you invite him. How much you inviting God into your life? All right, so how to self-heal. Identify the source of your pain is one. What would be the source of your pain, you think? Okay, very good. Anybody else? What is the source of your pain? What?
Grief.
Grief, good. Say it again.
Accepting things that cannot change.
Accepting things you cannot change. Regret, perception, very good. Very good. Perception, perspective. That could definitely, for me, the source of my pain is the way I'm communicating with it.
Yeah.
The way I communicate with things is the source of it. Of course, God is the source of everything. For me, that's my energy source, right? How do you charge yourself up? Phone, you got to plug into an outlet, right?
Yeah.
What are you plugging into to charge up?
The word.
Juma, good, the word. What are some things you can plug into to charge up? Remember we spoke about it? This is the charge up, self-care. Are you giving yourself enough? Listen, I have a specific time frame of the day. It's about 3-4 hours where I do nothing. I'm cut off.
How many hours do you have in your day?
I have the same amount as you got.
You sure?
Yeah. It's usually at the end of the night. Between 6 and 10, good luck getting through to me. I'm going to enjoy my 4 hours. I'm in retirement. I'm able to do that because when it's time to get to work, I'm productive. I also have my 8-9 hours where it's no distractions and it's all what I need to get done. So I'm very productive with time. So then therefore I could have leisure time. The more productive you get with your time, the more time you will have to do the things you want.
Yeah.
So do some of the things you hate so you can do some of the things you love. You're not going to be able to just do what you love all the time. You're going to have to do some of the things you hate so you can do some of the things you love.
Like scheduling a fucking
Yes.
doctor's appointment.
There you go.
Actually go.
You have no idea the dopamine kick you're probably going to get after you make the appointment and actually go. Because I got a crazy dopamine kick just from cleaning my apartment because I let it pile up for 2-3 days. I felt like the man afterwards. I was walking around my apartment like, oh, my shit look good. I was so proud of myself. I had the Febreze going. I was shooting behind my back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt good. It felt good to take care of something I needed to take care of. Look how much you're procrastinating if you are. Imagine if you started to knock out some of the things you're procrastinating. It's going to make you feel
I
good.
remember it used to feel good to pay bills.
Yes? Shit, my shit's on auto pay. When did that happen? I used to have to shut my card off because I didn't know if something would get pulled out because I only had about $8 on the Cash App. Yeah. So I had to lock the card and only open the card as I would use it and then lock it right there.
I'm still doing that.
I'm just saying, I used to go to the gas station and put $5, fill it up now every time I go.
Yeah.
These little things bring me joy.
Yeah.
Because my value is in who I'm becoming, not in what I'm getting. So every time I pay my rent, I'm becoming more and more adult.
Yeah.
I'm becoming something with the things I'm doing. It feels good, the little things today, because I value the little things, not the big things. The big things are going to come and go. Little things are going to stay forever. So the healing journey is a path. Right? It's a path of acknowledging and accepting our feelings. It's a path of prioritizing self-care. It's a path of mindfulness and meditation. And it's a process of journaling. You're going to have to find a way to process what's going on up here. It cannot be you in your mind alone in your mind. Because you're not going to do the hard work in your mind. But if you start writing it down, you are forced to do some of the hard work. All right, what else was there? Support system. Your healing journey, you're going to have to build a team now. What is your team going to look like? To me, in order for me to build a team, I first need to know where I'm weak. Right? Like if a sports team had a bad season, what positions are they looking to get better at?
Point guard.
They're looking to get better where they were weak. If they have the best shooter in the league, they ain't worrying about shooting. They're worrying about building around the shooter. So in order for you to build a team that's really going to help you, you first got to know what your weaknesses are. Second, stop thinking that only an addict can help you or an alcoholic. You are selling yourself short. There are so many people out there that got wisdom and so much stuff that can help us, but they've never lived a life of drugs, but they have lived a life of pain and depression and guilt and shame. They got the same feelings we have, they just dealt with them differently. My team is made up of people in areas where I'm weak. I don't need another me on the team. Michael Jordan didn't need another Michael Jordan. He needed Scottie Pippen. He needed Tony Kukoc. Tom Brady needed his wide receivers. He didn't need another quarterback on the team just like himself. You are already playing the main role in your life. You don't need someone else to come in to play the main role. You are the MVP, the main player of your team. So now where are your weaknesses and who could you find to make sure that your team goes from last place to the championship now? If you don't know where you're weak, how are you going to get strong in it? Acknowledge and accept that, you know what? I'm weak in process. I'm weak in conflict resolution. I do not know how to resolve a conflict in a good way. It's either I ignore you, I tell you go fuck yourself, I ghost you, or I gossip about you. That's my conflict resolution. Well, it used to be anyway. But once I was able to acknowledge, I didn't even want to quit jobs. I just wouldn't show up. I wouldn't even go for the checks sometimes because I felt embarrassed walking in. I make somebody else go pick up the check for me. Breaking up with girls? Nah, I just keep fucking around on them until they left me. Because I didn't have the balls to break up with the girl. I was a coward.
Why are we like that?
What?
Why are we like that?
I was like that because I was a coward.
I was definitely like that.
What?
I just followed through and like
Definitely, my baby mama.
So what is your team going to look like? What is your team going to look like?
Positive team.
So, let's close it up where we at. Yeah, we're almost there. So, The healing journey refers to a personal process of recovering from emotional, mental, and physical trauma, often involving self-discovery. Your healing journey is meant for you to discover you. The only way you're going to discover you is if you're able to now be emotionally intelligent in your feelings. The only way we're truly going to discover ourselves is if we know how to manage, process, and express ourselves. It's the only way you're going to truly discover who you are. Right now, you might not know who you are. You might be searching for that person, but you might be searching for who you are tomorrow rather than trying to learn who you were yesterday. Because if I don't know how I got to where I am, there's no way for me to truly know where I'm going. If we don't know how we got to where we are today, you're going to keep repeating it until you figure out how it keeps happening first. Self-discovery has to occur on the healing journey. Otherwise, our identity is always going to be in something else and not in who we are as people. Well, I'm doing good putting people to sleep. So, the healing journey refers to a personal process of recovering from emotional, mental, and physical trauma. Often involves self-discovery, confronting painful experiences. The healing journey, we now have to confront. Because active addiction, are we confronting it? Or is active addiction where we're avoiding it? Active addiction, we run from our pain. We run from our failure. We run from our abandonment. We run from our trauma. We run from it to get high, to not feel it. The healing journey, if you are running from your pain, you're running from your recovery. I say it all the time. We have to now confront our pain. Because if you do not confront it, it's going to continue to kick your ass. So actively working towards wholeness, confronting our painful experience with the understanding that healing is a non-linear process with ups and downs, right? Straight line, we went over this. The healing journey is this. Accept that. Accept that life's going to go good for you, and then it's not. And then it's going to get better. This is the healing journey. You're going to do well on it. It's usually like beginning of recovery, right? We have like the pink cloud and we got all this energy. And life's feeling good and colors are looking different. And I hear the birds again and food tastes great and all of it. But then all of a sudden you get this curve in recovery. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. I don't like this feeling. I'm going to all my meetings. I'm doing all my shit. Why do I feel like this? I should not be feeling like this. I must be doing something wrong. I must be doing something wrong. The fact that this is starting to happen. What?
I said, that's where I'm at.
You're not doing anything wrong. This is life. Life is not this. You find me one person that's lived life like that. This is an illusion. This does not exist. A straight line does not exist. Allow setbacks. Allow things to not work out. Because recovery is this. This is the healing journey. It's a roller coaster.
Highs and lows.
Highs and lows. Enjoy the high when you have it.
And enjoy the low.
Appreciate the low when you have it because the high is coming. You don't have to like something to appreciate it. You do not have to like something to appreciate it. Can anybody give me something that they didn't like in the past but they appreciate it today?
Socks and underwear.
Vegetables, socks and underwear is okay.
Sound crazy.
Nature.
It depends on what it is.
Say again?
Sounds crazy with my freedom.
Okay.
Sounds right on time.
So what I'm saying is I didn't like jail. But I appreciate going to jail because going to jail, what it's doing for me today is keeping me from going back. So you might not like somebody in your life, but you can appreciate what maybe they're giving you. You might not like this program, but you could appreciate the opportunity it's giving you. If you think that we need to like everything we appreciate. You know how much you're probably not appreciating it because you don't like it? Find an appreciation for things. You don't have to like it. I did not like things that my parents did to me as far as structure and the strictness, but I appreciate what I'm learning from it today, though. So you don't have to like your life right now to appreciate it. You do not have to like it to appreciate it. Because if life was taken away from you, we complain about how much this sucks. I tell you something right now, I don't want to fucking lose it. I appreciate my life. I love my life today. I don't want to lose this. Do you appreciate your life where you don't want to lose it? Are we even focused on appreciating life? I'm back and forth. You gotta understand, my mind is a seesaw. It's positive, it's negative. It's positive, it's negative. All day fucking long. This is my mind, all day long. 75,000 thoughts a day. Every single one of us. 90% of that 75,000 is negative. Scientifically proven. 90% of self-talk is negative. So out of 75,000 thoughts you're having, 90% is negative, whatever that number is. Do you understand that not all your thoughts need to become reality, though? It's just a thought. A thought stays a thought until you make it reality, and then it becomes real. You know how many fucking sick thoughts I have? Sometimes I got this big-ass monster truck, right, for my outreach. Sometimes I'm driving, I'm like, I could blast this fucking car right now. That's a thought. But I didn't make it reality. But I had the fucking thought of playing Grand Theft Auto a few times with that fucking thing. Just start crashing it. Have you ever had a sick fucking thought? And not make it not make it reality though, and realize it was just a crazy thought. All our thoughts are like that. You have the power to do that with all your thoughts. Be careful what thoughts you make reality, because whatever you make reality is going to destroy you or build you. Are you allowing the thoughts that you're a piece of shit to be your reality? Are you allowing the thoughts that you're not worth it to be reality? Are you have the thoughts that you are never going to be loved to be reality? Because if you're allowing it to be reality, it's probably fucking destroying you right now. Which thoughts are you allowing to become your reality? And I'll close it with these two words. Be very mindful when you use these two words, because they can fuck us up. Always and never. Hear me out. Something bad happens to you, and you say that's always going to happen to me. What did you just do with that?
Curse yourself.
We'll live it.
You ask for help.
Accept it
A
alive.
person doesn't help you. See, no one's never going to help me. What does that do?
Nobody gonna never help me too.
When you say always and you say never, try to stop yourself. These are judgment words. You are judging something with these words. It's always going to happen to me. So you know what? When it happens, you start to believe that you're cursed and no good is going to happen to you. Or you ask someone out on a date and they say no. See, I ain't never going to get a date. You're going to give up on asking people out on dates. You're putting in job applications and you're not getting a job. See, I'm never going to get a job. You're going to stop putting in applications. Be careful with the always. I'm always going to be an addict, then you're always going to be an addict. Be careful with these two words. You might say them more than you know.
I'm never going to be an addict.
There you go.
So I'm trying to figure out my language when I'm in a meeting and everybody's saying they say I'm Jack and I'm an addict. How do you?
You can say I'm a recovering addict or I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Nah,
So look, in certain places, identifying as one it's being used because we were in denial. I believe me identifying as I was an addict, the only purpose was to take me out of denial so I can now be aware of the problem. Once I identified as an addict and I accepted that I can be one, I no longer identify that to be the solution. Some people need to identify for that to be their solution so they don't go back. But what they're not realizing is death and life is in the power of the tongue. And those who love it eat the fruit therefore of it. By me identifying as an addict or an alcoholic, what I'm telling myself is that even though I'm not using, I'm still that person. When I'm not that person no more. What makes me that person is my behavior. If I change my behavior, I'm not that person no more. But for some people, they need to identify as that to remind them of who they can be. So when they're having thoughts, they know it's like their addict mind. I don't put labels on it though. But that's why some people do it. Me, personally, I don't. You guys know I'm very vocal when it comes to that. All right, any questions? Anything of the sort? So Saturday, if no one's doing nothing, it's my birthday. I'm preaching at my church. Pizza party at 5. If you follow me on Instagram, the flyer's there. Huntington Beach Church, 6 o'clock. All right. My man.
I got a Zoom meeting at 12, man.
You're welcome.